Hello, I'm Andy and welcome to Vectra News, your fill of gaming news for the 30th of May 2015. Coming up in this week's episode, the females are now in FIFA 2016, Wildstar is to become a free-to-play game in autumn, and Twitch bans adult-only games. FIFA 2016 will include female players when the game releases later in the year. 12 all-female teams will be featured in the game, all of which will be playing in the World Cup hosted by Canada. The teams will be England, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Spain, Sweden, and the United States of America. The first 11 players from each team, along with select reserves, have been facially scanned in the same way that male players have, with some of the US team providing female motion capture for EA Sports in Vancouver. FIFA won't be the first football game to feature female players, with Mia Hamm's 64 Soccer and UEFA Dream Soccer having previously released in 2000 with female players. For now at least, there isn't any plans to include any male versus female matches, which is a mimic of the real life game. It doesn't look like females will be included in the Ultimate Team mode either, and there won't be a female only version of the mode due to the lack of resources in creating a broad crop of players. The 12 teams can be played in friendly matches, both on and offline, as well as an offline tournament mode. Unfortunately, there won't be any online tournament modes for female-only teams. I have to say, I believe this is a positive move forward for FIFA, especially as female football players are on the rise. The UEFA website stated this year that there are 1.2 million registered European female footballers, and investments have tripled in the last 5 years. As such, I believe there should be some representation of female players in the actual game itself. A number of people have reacted negatively to the move though, with sexist comments erupting on Twitter, along with other ones supporting it. Although I really feel that this raid should instead possibly, maybe be pointed towards the 2 corruption inquiries and 7 arrests this week from allegations spanning back to 1991. That and the fact that 1,200 workers have died in Qatar since being awarded the World Cup in 2010. Although I would like to point out with that statistic that it's unclear if they were all World Cup workers. I feel one tweet sums up this backlash against females in FIFA 16 nicely. If you don't want to play as a women's team in FIFA 16, then just don't play with one instead of making stupid sexist comments. Wildstar will be changing to a free-to-play game later in the year. The exact date hasn't been announced, however it will happen in the autumn time. Mike Donatelli, Carbine's product designer, said that free-to-play is the better business model. Fact. There are no barriers to entry, pick a forum, any forum. Go there, there'll be people saying, I like that game, I'm just not paying you any money for it. And that's every post. We absolutely acknowledge that the MMO community has evolved past the business model. This is a different spin than Carbine's Jeremy Gaffney gave in an interview to PC Games N, who last year stated that free-to-play was not a magic bullet. Carbine's tone may have changed due to the game's decline in earnings, which dropped from $25.57 million in Q1 of 2014 after the game's release to $5 million in Q4 of 2014. Per quarter, these figures now make Wildstar the company's least profitable game. However, it seems to lack being able to gain and retain players despite the game's positive reviews. Going free to play will mean that Wildstar will have to go through some mechanical changes, with more currencies being added in, which will unsurprisingly involve a real money currency. This will also apparently be grindable though. Come autumn, Wildstar will be free to all players, including all dungeons, raids, adventures, shipyard missions, and PvP modes. But for those that want to continue paying a monthly subscription, an optional loyalty program will be available which gives bonus XP, crafting, items and currency rewards. An additional store will sell convenience and cosmetic items. Carbine have stated that almost every in-game store item will have an equivalent for those that don't want to pay and instead invest their time in the game. More details will be released in the upcoming months. Twitch has updated its rules of conduct, banning games rated adult only by the ERSB. I can only assume this is to limit streams of the soon-to-be released game Hatred. I'm not sure if this is because the game has been blown out of proportion, possibly because of the premise and the trailer, but the gameplay itself, if you watch videos on YouTube, doesn't actually look that shocking, to be honest. Along with Hatred, there are 2 other games singled out by Twitch in the adults only rating, these being Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Director's Cut and Manhunt 2 Uncut. Although it does state that mature rated versions of adult only titles are permitted broadcasting, including mature versions of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy. Grand Theft Auto arguably is on the same level as Hatred in terms of killing people. Is it really the fact that in GTA the objective isn't to kill innocent people? Could it just be because of the backlash that all the media's given Hatred? The only thing that I can tell as well that makes San Andreas an adults only title is the fact that you can have sex with your girlfriend in the game. feature that wasn't actually found for a while post-release, which resulted in copies of the game being recalled. There's also The Witcher 3, which has scenes of nudity and sex in it, which granted aren't prevalent throughout the whole of the game, and clearly these scenes are against the terms of service Twitch states, saying you may never broadcast sexual activity, nudity, threats or extreme violence. However, when you look in the top 10 broadcasts, there are clearly a number of people streaming The Witcher 3, and if you go through the story mode, there's definitely some scenes that have nudity that you can't really get around. The question is, where do you draw the line? Twitch does currently have a function for streamers to indicate to viewers that the stream may contain mature content. So the question is, should they just implement a better age restricting system for the mature games too? The other grey area here is the fact that Twitch is making a stand by using the ERSB rating. Now, I understand that Twitch is a US based service, which is probably why they've decided to go with that rating. The thing is though, the games are rated differently around the globe. Take the upcoming Metal Gear game, The Phantom Pain. In the US it's rated mature, but over here in the UK, the PEGI rating, whose rating system retailers have to abide to by law or face legal action, is actually rated 18. There are countless other examples too. So the question is, will this game be okay for people to stream? Because, I mean, it's not adults only, it is a mature game, even if it is rated 18 over here in the UK. And there could be younger viewers watching Twitch that may watch this stream. So, do they need to police it more? I think the most ironic thing about this is the fact that the ERSB site doesn't actually list hatred at all, despite the developers saying earlier in the year that it had received the adults only rating. What are your views on Twitch? Do you think they're right to do this, or do you think they should just be implementing a better system? But that's all from Vectra News this week. Don't forget to like, favourite, subscribe, follow us on Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date with everything on the network. But, as always, we'll see you next week. Goodbye.